Hello, what's your name?
My name is Eleeya.
Hi, Eleeya.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a little one-horse town called Uric, Missouri. It's spelled like U-Rich,
Hmm.
U-R-I-C-H, but it's pronounced Uric.
Oh, nice.
So that's where
Awesome.
I'm from. Little bitty town, 500 and some people.
What was your childhood like?
Hmm. It wasn't good. I'm sure millions of people can relate. It was a I grew up with real super strict parents. It was like a very alienated childhood,
Hmm.
not taught anything, kept as prisoners, more or less.
Wow.
And thank God I had a wild imagination I like to use.
Did you have any siblings?
I was the oldest of four
Okay.
children. And
So, what were your parents like?
my dad was 28 years older than my mom. He dominated everything she did.
Hmm.
And dominated us even worse, very verbally and physically abusive, especially to my brother, that was 5 years younger than me.
Hmm.
And my mom more or less enabled him.
Yeah. And then you got away from that?
I, I had some ornery people that I started hanging around with that actually were very instrumental in helping me get away from that environment. I was
Oh, wow.
21 years old, and didn't have anything, of course.
Yeah.
Wasn't allowed to drive. Wasn't allowed to do anything.
Hmm.
So, very sheltered, prison like existence. But I have to say, I forgive them, for they know not what they do.
No, that's good of you.
They pretty much raised us with how they thought children were to be raised.
Yeah.
And it was like a real strict environment, but I have to look back on what I learned from that.
Hmm.
It taught me how to be creative, number one, use my mind, use my imagination.
Hmm.
And actually, when I got out, I learned how to be a rebel. So
What do you do for a living now?
I have a cleaning business.
Okay.
I clean and organize. I do yard work, whatever anybody wants me to do that they don't want to do. They
Nice.
save the dirty work for me.
Nice.
So I do that. Plus, I'm trying to get going more with my music. And I do some comedy. I writing stories
Nice.
for
Awesome.
Amazon, and I'm trying to get involved with a publishing company.
Oh, okay.
And
And
I'm addicted to adventure. Going out doing anything fun.
yeah.
Meeting people is always fun. This is fun.
Yeah. Well, this is a
And
little adventure too, huh?
yes, and then I like to walk my dogs. I like to discover new places to walk, campgrounds.
Nice.
I like campgrounds, any place, new place to discover. And of course, I'm a water duck. I love the water.
Oh,
In the
okay.
summertime, no matter how hard I work outside, I do a lot of outside work too, gardening
Hmm.
and stuff. I got to find a swimming pool or a lake to jump in.
Oh, nice. And do you
So,
want to kind of tell us your story on your struggles through life?
well, when I was 21 and I got out, I just didn't come home one night. Left everything behind at age 21.
Hmm.
And it's nobody's fault but my own. I turned to drinking and the party life. Easy thing to turn to, right?
Yeah.
And throughout the years, I had these big dreams in my heart at 21 to be a singer, to be a writer, to be in the entertainment field, which I guess I was all along. I never got paid for it. I guess I was an entertainer, all right.
Hmm.
Anybody that would dare me to do anything, I would do it.
So you were young and wild and crazy, huh?
You dang right. Still, I still got the crazy part right. Not young anymore. Wild in a way, you know, just you never know what I'm going to do next.
That's good.
And I turned to drinking as a way to cope. Because I was just like, 21, all of a sudden now, able to do what I want.
Right.
I just I didn't know what to do. I was just like, I knew what I wanted to do, what was in my heart and soul to do with music. I lived and breathed it. But it was just like, how do I become these things? It's like who, what, when, where, how.
Yeah.
No direction whatsoever. No money, no connections, not knowing how to do all that stuff.
Right.
So I figured, well, someday I'll be able to figure that out. So as the years went on, I developed a serious alcohol problem. And it does, once you get started, you don't like it at first, or at least I didn't. But as time went around, I liked how it made me feel, it made me relax, because at that time I was real shy, painfully shy, had severe anxiety, which I found out in 1994. I had severe PTSD.
Oh.
And I didn't know what it was.
From your childhood?
Severe.
Gotcha.
I couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't look them in the eye for years and years. And still I had these big dreams. Again, not knowing how to go about it, not having the money, not having the connections.
And what did you drink mainly?
I mainly drank beer. This is the cheapest thing to buy usually. And it was so easy to get.
Yeah.
Everybody drank beer,
Yeah.
And then sometimes I drink hard stuff. But at that time, I couldn't really handle it.
Right.
But the years kept passing, and soon I became probably the worst alcoholic you've ever seen in your life. Had my first real alcohol withdrawal, serious alcohol withdrawal, where I was put in the hospital. Thought I was going to die. That was in, what year was that? Oh my gosh. 1990, September of 94, I believe.
Where you wake up and drinking early and drink all day?
Well, I drank real hard stuff. A pint of whiskey, beer, mixed drinks the night before. Then I woke up, no alcohol. And it didn't start hitting me till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, things just went out of control going down the highway. I wanted to jump out of the car. I was about to pull my hair out. And the people I was with at the time, they had to stop at the side of the highway for me to get out and walk. Because being in a car would freak me out. My hands would be going like this, pulling my hair out, talking out of my head, feeling like I was going to pass out. Luckily, there was a hospital by the highway in Belton that they took me to, and I could barely sign my name. My hands were shaking so bad. And I heard the doctor and the nurses talking among themselves that they said she's either dying of she's either dying of an alcohol withdrawal or alcohol poisoning. So I couldn't stop pacing. So finally they gave me 2 shots in the hip of Ativan probably. Then I got better. Tried to go to sleep after that, couldn't. Then I was released, still couldn't go to sleep. So what did I do? I went back to drinking that night. And of course I'd work when I could. Yeah, I always worked. Um, but when things really got bad was, oh my gosh, the year 2010 and 11 and 12, in and out of the hospital all the time. Couldn't get it together. And of course, a lot of that had to do with my PTSD.
Right.
Because addiction and trauma, unresolved trauma, they go hand in hand. They really do.
Yeah.
So I ended up almost dying, almost falling to the ground one time. I couldn't even ride an ambulance because I was freaking out so bad. So luckily, where I was at, I could walk to the hospital. Barely. I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive because I was freaking out so bad. And they give me shots of Ativan in the hospital. And the big moment came in 2018. 2018 was probably the worst, one of the worst times. Because, yeah, I was preparing to die. I was
When
in
you
the
hit
ER.
bottom.
Yeah. I hit bottom another time when a very tragic event happened. This was in 2014, I believe. I'd been sober for a while, for close to 6 months. Something real traumatic happened that I couldn't cope with. I drank 2 gallons of whiskey. Now, this was about 2014. Yeah, it was 2014. Drank 2 gallons of whiskey. I was at a friend's house. I drank so much, my friends say that I was foaming at the mouth, unresponsive, face had turned blue. They thought I died.
Wow.
I'd stopped breathing. Respiratory failure. So they called the ambulance, of course. And I was completely out. I don't remember anything. And the ER, they tried to put a tube down my throat, but my throat had closed up from respiratory failure. So they life flighted me to Research Hospital in Kansas City, and I was still out of it. And they were able to put, though, they had to sedate me, they had to put me on life support.
Damn.
And I was in ICU, couldn't walk. And I remember waking up in the ICU, tubes down my throat. I was trying to pull them out, you know.
Yeah.
Nurses would come in and I would try to do sign language and say, I need to drink, you know, because my throat was real dry and I was thirsty.
Right.
And they took me to do a swallowing test. And I couldn't swallow anything without it aspirating in my lungs. So they'd have to put me back on the tubes. And they said, but we've got an IV going. And I kept trying to talk and say, you know, but I remember then I would try to pull out the tubes. And they would say, you're going to ruin your vocal cords. And then that's when I thought, oh my gosh, I want to be a singer. I don't want to ruin my vocal cords.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, someday, somehow it's going to happen. So I went back to sleep. And I got out, you know, luckily. I mean, the doctors and the nurses were really giving me the 3rd degree about it, telling me how lucky I am to be alive. And I'd end up in the ER several other times where my blood alcohol content would be so high that they'd be like, I don't know how you survived this. And I told them, God, it was God. So then, yeah, I'll go back to this story in 2018. I really did this time. Whenever I was taken to the ER, I drank a whole bunch at a friend's house. I didn't know when to quit. Hard stuff. And a friend of mine came there to make sure I was going to be okay. And I remember my friend discussing with the ER nurse, saying, I'm going to have to be, if she passes, he said, if she passes, I'm going to have to call her mom and stepdad to tell them, right? He's talking to the nurse. The nurse said, more than likely. So, anyway, the nurses gave me IVs, and I got better, but still had a lot of recovering to do when I got back home because I couldn't think, I couldn't walk, I hardly, off balance, nauseous, dizzy. Shoot, I'm dizzy anyway. What are you talking about? So I was very sick, could barely do anything. And I remember pacing the floor 3 nights straight, it's like every day and every night for 3 nights. Please, God, help me. Please, God, help me. I'd be so tired, but yet I couldn't go to sleep. And the times that I would doze off on the couch, I would feel this burning heat, like being on fire. I'd be scared to death. Then I'd jerk back awake. And I couldn't go back to sleep because I'd be scared to go back to sleep because of the torment, the extreme torment that I felt. So I paced and I paced and I paced the floor, and I was like, dear God, help me. Dear God, help me. Because I couldn't help myself. I was so sick I couldn't even drink anymore if I wanted to at that period of time. And so then I relapsed again. And this was in the new year of 2019. And I ended up going to the ER again, back to back. And then I kept saying, God help me, God help me. And evidently God did hear me, because ever since then, that was the first week in January of 2019, I was delivered from alcohol. Hallelujah. Completely. Got over the withdrawals again, got over those withdrawals, which, those are terrible.
Yeah.
And
it's a bad drug.
It is. And they say now that experts say that it's worse than heroin or any kind of street drug now.
Yeah.
It affects the whole entire body.
And it's so socially accepted. That's what's not okay.
Socially accepted because it's so easy to obtain. You can get alcohol anywhere. And of course, I had all these friends giving me alcohol too, Yeah. Even when I didn't feel like drinking, people would be at my door with alcohol. And I wasn't strong enough at that time to be able to say no.
Yeah.
So I can be around alcohol now, and even after I sobered up, I could be around it. Wouldn't even faze me. And then I moved from the Uric and Clinton area. Clinton I was living in. I was living in Clinton at that time for a long time. And that's the town right next to Uric, a nothing town of about, I moved from a town of 500 people to a town of maybe, I guess, 10,000. That can't be right. I guess 10,000. Another town that was even worse than Uric, I think. Drugs, crime, cops that won't do anything, or the courts that wouldn't do anything. And I moved to Branson January of 2020. Been here ever since. I love it. Always something to do. And then of June of 2020, I was introduced to the Jimmy Jack Foundation for Kids. And that is helping kids' musical dreams come true.
How does that work?
This is this has probably been the highlight of my life, actually. I still sing. The Jimmy Jack Foundation, what we do is, of course, we spread the word. We tell everybody about it. We have a concert, a fundraiser concert every year at the Stone Castle Resort, where each of us sings if we want to. We help set up everything, and we give out the instruments to kids, underprivileged kids. And I'm an avid supporter of that. And I've come up with a slogan called "Kids Don't Do What I Did."
Yeah.
When you're young and you have a music dream, go for it. Don't let anybody discourage you. Go after it, no matter what it takes. We collect instruments. Any kind of instruments. It could be instruments that need work done on them, or, we will take instruments in any shape and give them to underprivileged children.
Nice.
We collect them. We're 11 years strong now.
Wow.
And it's grown. We're not only nationwide, we're worldwide.
And how do you feel that how did you overcome the alcohol? Do you feel that it was God that helped
I
you?
say it's God.
Yeah.
A miracle. I can honestly say a miracle, because I could not have done that on my own. As out of control as I was, I couldn't have done it on my own.
You lost everything, but you never lost your faith.
Not really. I always believed in God no matter what. I got saved and baptized. Let's say I got saved at age 14. Started going to church, reading my Bible from cover to cover. I was actually very much a bookworm all through school, so studying and getting good grades came very easy for me. Because I had an inborn curiosity about stuff. And I was naturally good in music. I was naturally good in English. So I had a brilliant imagination. Thank God he gave it to me. I used to write, whenever I was in school, I'd write people's book reports for them based on my own ideals and stories. So I say, basically it's God.
That's awesome.
God can work miracles. Even though I stray and I doubt, just like everybody else does, I still struggle with doubt. Like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
But being so strong-willed like I've always been and independent, that is going to be very hard for me.
Right.
To surrender everything to higher power, which to me is God.
And these are your dogs?
These are my dogs. These are my babies, my kids.
Oh.
The boxer pet is Missy. The miniature pinscher is Jasper.
Oh, they're cute.
His nickname is Cat Dog because he meows like a cat.
All right. And what other stories in life do you have?
Oh my gosh, I could write a book.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I got so many stories. It's like, but I do give God all the glory for rescuing me. And also my dreams, my big dreams of thinking big also was a factor. And more or less getting back into church.
Yeah.
Sharing my faith. And there was a time when this was a real low point in my life. I mean, after that whiskey incident where I drank 2 gallons of whiskey, this was in 2014, and I almost died then. I was taking care of a man with Parkinson's disease at that time, and he was a good friend of mine. And I knew him before he came down real bad with Parkinson's disease. But he had a daughter that was a drug addict, schizophrenic, and a pill popper. that was still living there. Me and her got along at the start, but as time went on, I didn't know how drug addiction worked, because I was strictly an alcoholic. And that situation turned really bad because I was trying to get Dawn, my friend, to get her out of his house because she was stealing and, stealing his pills, stealing everything, and letting other drug addicts in his house. To make a long story short, she had it out for me, threatened to kill me. And of course, what are you going to do when somebody does that? Your phone is in the other room. She corners you, and you're in the room where her father is asleep in his bed, and she decides to threaten to kill me while her father's asleep in bed, and she's all drugged out and stuff. What are you going to do? Of course you're going to defend yourself. So her daughter, that was worse than she is, her underage daughter was living there, and her daughter's boyfriend was living there. So her and her mom got into it while me and her mom were getting into it. So the daughter ended up calling the cops because here this girl is all beat up. She threatened me. I just, thank God I didn't kill her. I ended up with assault charge. And I was looking at if I didn't get a lawyer, I was looking at 7 years in the pen. So, thank God I was able to find a lawyer and put money down, a big down payment, and he let me make payments. So, thank God I got out of that, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Because, my probation, actually, this happened in 2014, but because of the lawyer kept working on my case, and it kept getting postponed and postponed, well, it didn't come into effect until 2016. So I was on supervised probation. And the way I was, I was going to drink no matter what. I was going to sneak and drink. I was going to do anything I could. And I found out real fast, you don't do that when you're on supervised probation. They are going to find out one way or another.
Yeah.
Which they did, all right. They have people watching you and tracking you. Right. People in the stores, on the camera, watching you buy alcohol, what have you. Or they have somebody out scouting about to watch you. So I ended up, you can go to prison just after one violation. You can go to prison just after one violation. Guess how many violations I ended up having?
How many?
7.
Wow.
7. But thank God, in the beginning, I was with a probation officer that didn't understand addiction and trauma. I was switched to a different probation officer. He was real tough, but he was a damn good guy. He was very strict. He understood my background. He understood my struggles. He worked with me.
Yeah.
But it was not easy. Because after each violation, he would scare me to death with prison.
Yeah.
And he'd say, "Do you want to go to prison?" And I'd almost fall through the floor. I'd say, no, I don't. Yeah. I don't. He says, "That's where you're headed if you don't quit this drinking."
Sounds like you've overcome a lot of things in life.
Yeah. But I always feel like I've still got a long way to go.
Yeah. It's amazing the lessons people learn in life and the things that people go through. And
And with the 7 violations, I had to go through rehab twice. And believe me, with PTSD and all the loudness, the strictness, to me, that was like prison.
Yeah.
I didn't handle it very well. I'm serious. I could not handle it very well. The noise, the isolation, and not being able to walk outside hardly. Pacing the floors, of course. Being extremely tired and the strictness. I was begging to be let out. I was begging to be let out. And then after the 7 violations I had, I was looking at, this is 2018, I was looking at 120-day shock. What that is a 120-day prison rehab. Prison rehab. And oh my dear God, I knew I wouldn't be able to do it. And I talked to other people that had went through it that said it wasn't a big deal to them, but most everybody knew for me, it would be a big deal.
Yeah.
Being shut in like that, real strict rehab. Because I couldn't even do 2 weeks hardly without about to lose my mind. So I was looking at the 120 days, and thank God for my probation officer. He fought very hard for me. And right before I moved here to Branson, thank God, it ended up being dismissed.
Nice.
It ended up being dismissed in court because everything had been drawn out so long.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to actually federal court in front of a real strict judge. You know, that's for people that are possibly, you know, facing prison time.
Yeah.
And since it was always a continuance court, I had to keep going back to court and going back to court. That went in my favor, that it ended up being dismissed.
And how do you overcome your PTSD nowadays without alcohol?
I'm not going to lie, it's a struggle emotionally. I do a lot of walking.
Good.
With my dogs. A lot of walking is my therapy. And of course, I practice singing.
Nice.
And I focus on my dreams. I read my Bible. Of course, I go to church. And I'm getting ready to join a support group type of thing.
Nice.
And I was, when I lived in Clinton, it was court ordered for me to go to outpatient counseling trauma groups, which really helped me because I got to be a advocate for other people.
Yeah.
I got to be a cheerleader for other people and try to help them overcome as well.
And you can learn a lot from other people's stories, just like people can learn from your story.
Because there's people out there that have had it a hell of a lot worse than I ever thought about having it.
Yeah.
And have been able to overcome. And then there's people that have had it a lot worse than me that can overcome.
And I heard that you do comedy skits too. Okay.
I just actually, with a friend of mine, Kelly James Barker and Joplin, we did like a comedy series. It's like one-liners back and forth, kind of like Hee Haw.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I got to show just how goofy I can really be.
Do you want to do any, you got anything today or?
Well, I don't really have anything today, so to speak.
Okay.
But I can give you the links.
Okay.
Send you the links to some of my comedy.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then I sing, and then I write stories. I've got a book on Amazon. I'm in the process of adding to it.
What's the name of your book?
The book is called A Mysterious Enchanted Encounter by Eleeya Grace. It's a fantasy romance.
Okay.
It's a light, supernatural romance.
Nice.
A mysterious enchanted encounter by Eleeya Grace on Amazon. If you want to check it out, it's $2.99. Leave a review. I greatly appreciate it.
Awesome.
And there's
Yeah.
more to come.
Awesome.
So I just got done writing a comedy I'm going to put on there. I got somebody trying to coach me and teach me how to do all that with, Amazon, put my stories on there.
Yeah.
And then I'm currently working on a book about my beloved aunt that passed away almost 4 years ago.
Are your parents still alive now, or?
My dad, he passed away in 1995. My mom remarried, and she's still kicking.
Wow. Do you ever talk to her any, or?
We talk on the phone,
Okay.
but thank God she's happy, but she's got her own life, and I can't get her to come down here and see me very much.
Yeah.
So, because she's so involved in her own life.
Yeah.
And with my stepdad's life. But I forgive her. We're two completely different people. I've always had goals. I've always wanted to use my imagination.
Yeah.
And I kind of sort of think I just might be a little too much for her. Because she's like a conservative person. I'm not.
How about your siblings? Do you speak with them?
Oh my goodness, my siblings, that's another story. My brother got into drugs and he was homeless, traveling with truck drivers at the very end, and he OD'd and died in California in 2007 at the age of 31.
Sorry to hear that.
My sister, oh, this is crazy. She passed away the same month that my Aunt Linda passed away. She was with an abusive man, we believe, poisoned her and killed her.
Wow.
And she was doing the same thing, drugs and alcohol and pill popping. She was suicidal. She was 3 years younger than me. And
It's a bad road to go down.
then she ended up dying. This was like February 2nd of, 2022. And my beloved aunt that I took care of, that I loved more than life itself, she passed February 19th of 2022.
And if you have one strong message to send people that want to learn from this story, what would your message be?
Don't ever turn to alcohol or any substance for that matter. Go after your dreams. Go after your dreams, no matter how hard they might seem. And if you have to run away, which I did, run to people that are Christian or positive people.
Yeah. Yeah.
A positive life. Go hang around people, try to find people if you can, try to find people that are doing the same things that you're wanting to do in life. Music people that are into writing.
Yeah.
Find it somehow.
You are what you hang out with, huh?
And get into church. Get into church. If that's your thing, get into church. But my message now is to kids. I've got the slogan, kids, don't do what I did. I mean that with all my heart. Don't do what I did.
Yeah. And if you could change one thing in your life, what would it be?
To not done what I did.
Yeah.
To not have turned to alcohol.
Yeah.
I always, think back to what I could have become in music.
Yeah.
I really regret that.
Do you want to do any singing skits or anything, or?
There's music going on right now that's kind of
throws you off.
It throws me off
Yeah.
because it's not the kind of music I do. I do jazz and blues type stuff.
Nice.
I like to do classic rock, classic ballads from way back when.
Yeah.
Classic rock, the soulful stuff,
That's awesome.
jazz, blues, gospel. I'm on it.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing your story today, and we appreciate it. And
You're
thank you
welcome.
for your time.
You're very much welcome. Bye.
Take care.